My in-laws threw a surprise party for my husband's birthday and told everyone it was a family-only event. I found out when I saw the photos online. No one noticed I wasn't there. I waited until everyone was tagged, then posted a photo of me alone at dinner that night with the caption, "Sometimes the best family is the one you make without them." My name is Claire. I'm 34, been married to my husband Tyler 36 for 4 years, together for almost 7. We live in Asheville, North Carolina. We met through friends, clicked fast, and moved in together within a year. When we got married, I truly believed we were building something strong. Real. Like we were our own little team. Tyler's family is tight-knit. That's the polite way of putting it. His parents live about 15 minutes from us, his sister and brother-in-law about 20. They do everything together. Dinners every Sunday, birthdays, even vacations. At first, I thought it was sweet. I come from a pretty fractured background. My mom passed when I was young, my dad left the picture not long after. So I envied how close they all were. But over time, I started noticing things. Little jabs. Little exclusions. At Thanksgiving, his mom would only make one pie and say, "Oh, I forgot you liked pumpkin too." At his sister's baby shower, I was the only one not asked to help with decorations. During game nights, if I stepped away, they'd switch games without telling me. Tyler always brushed it off. They're just old-fashioned. They don't mean anything by it. You're reading too much into it. Maybe I was. Maybe I just wasn't used to big families and I needed to adjust. So I kept trying. Then came his birthday. Tyler's birthday is April 20th. This year, it landed on a Saturday. A couple weeks beforehand, I asked him if he wanted to go away for the weekend or do a dinner with friends. He said, "Let's keep it simple this year. Maybe just a movie and dinner, just us. I don't feel like making a big thing out of it." I said okay. I asked him what he wanted to do the day of. He said, "Oh, Dad needs help moving some stuff in the garage. I'll be there most of the day, but we can do dinner Sunday." Again, I didn't think anything of it. He's helped his dad before. It wasn't out of the ordinary. Saturday night came. He texted me around 9:30 p.m. saying, "Still here? Having a couple beers with everyone. I'll be home late." When he got back, it was almost midnight. He smelled like beer and barbecue. He looked happy. Tired, but content. He kissed me on the forehead and passed out on the couch. I remember feeling a little left out, but I told myself not to be needy. Maybe his dad had people over. Maybe it turned into a hangout. Fine. Then Sunday morning came. I was scrolling Instagram while having my coffee. That's when I saw it. His cousin Jess had posted a group photo. It was clearly taken the night before. There was a big white and gold banner behind them that said, "Happy birthday, Tyler," in all caps. Tables, chairs, drinks, balloons. It was not a casual thing. It was a full party. My stomach dropped. I looked closer. Everyone was there. His parents, his sister and her husband, aunts, uncles, friends from college, even their neighbors from down the street. Literally every person I'd ever met through his family. Except me. No one even looked confused. No one looked like someone was missing. They were all smiling, posing with Tyler like he was king for a day. I tried to stay calm. I told myself, maybe it was spontaneous. Maybe someone threw it together last minute. Then I kept scrolling. His sister posted a story of them setting up the party at noon that day. She was blowing up balloons in their backyard, talking to the camera about how excited they were to celebrate with the whole family. His aunt posted a picture of the cake with the caption, "A family-only celebration for our favorite guy." That word again. Family only. I wasn't invited because I wasn't considered family. I kept waiting. I figured surely someone would message me, ask where I was, say something. But no. Photo after photo, story after story. I watched every single one. No one asked where I was. No one noticed. By that evening, I'd seen enough. The pain shifted from shock to something else, something colder. I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to cry. I wanted them to feel what I felt. So I waited until every photo was posted. Until every comment had settled. Then I took one of my own. It was a picture I'd taken that night at dinner. I ended up going out by myself to a small Italian place nearby. I wore jeans and a sweater. I sat at a small two-top near the back. Ordered a glass of wine, spaghetti carbonara, and tiramisu. My face wasn't smiling. I wasn't trying to look cute. Just real. I posted the photo with one sentence. Sometimes the best family is the one you make without them. No tags. No location. No drama. It took 10 minutes. His cousin Jess. Wait, were you not at the party? His sister. Claire, what's that supposed to mean? His mom liked the post. Then unliked it. I didn't answer anyone. But Tyler? Tyler lost it. He came into the kitchen the next morning waving his phone like it was on fire. What the hell is this supposed to mean, Claire? Why are you making me look like an asshole on the internet? I didn't even look up for my coffee. I think it's clear what it means. He went off. Said I was being dramatic. That he didn't plan the party, his mom did. That he thought I knew it was just a family thing. That he didn't want to cause drama. You didn't cause drama, I said. You just let me be excluded from your life's most basic celebration. It wasn't like that. You didn't even ask where I was. He opened his mouth. Then closed it. He didn't have anything to say to that. I slept in the guest room that night. Packed a bag the next morning and stayed at my friend Carly's for a few days. He's been texting, calling, saying he messed up. That his mom is just bad with boundaries and that he didn't think it would blow up like this. But here's what I keep thinking. He knew it was happening. He knew I wasn't invited. He didn't stand up for me. He didn't even tell me. He chose them. And now he wants me to forget it. I don't know what I'm going to do next. But I know one thing, this isn't just about a birthday party. This is about the fact that when it really mattered, he didn't have my back. After 3 days at Carly's, I finally turned my phone back on for more than a few minutes. Tyler had left me 9 voicemails. Some were calm. Some were frantic. One was angry. The last one just said, Claire, I don't even know how to fix this. I didn't answer, but I did check my email. I had one from his mother. Just the subject line made my stomach twist. Let's talk. The body was short. Claire, I'm sorry you felt left out of Tyler's birthday. It was never my intention to hurt you. It was just a small family get-together we've always done every year, and I didn't want to make things awkward by changing the guest list too much. I hope we can move past this. Sincerely, Diane's small family get-together? There were 30 people in those pictures. They rented heaters for the backyard. They had a professional photographer there. I know, because I recognized the watermark, same woman who shot Tyler's cousin's wedding. That's not small. That's not last minute. And her saying she didn't want to make things awkward by inviting me, his wife, made me feel physically ill. I showed Carly the email. She read it and laughed, bitter. She's not sorry. She just doesn't want to look bad. That's not an apology. That's a cover-up. And that's when I really started thinking. This wasn't the first time his mom made me feel like an outsider. And it sure as hell wasn't the first time Tyler didn't do a damn thing about it. There were so many times over the years where I told him how she made me feel. Left out. Unwelcome. Like I was tolerated, not accepted. He always defended her. Said I was being too sensitive. That it's just how she is.
But now?
Now I started to wonder if he wasn't on it. I dug through his texts. I don't normally do that. I hate that I even went there. But something about his reaction, his silence about the party, none of it sat right with me. That's when I found it. A group text between Tyler, his mom, his sister, and his cousin Jess. From a week before the party. His mom. Everything is set for Saturday. 5 p.m.
Backyard.
Just family, and oh Claire, please. I don't want the vibe to be off. His sister. Agreed. She always makes things uncomfortable. His cousin. Wow, lol. Harsh, but okay. And Tyler? Tyler replied with, got it. I'll handle it. He knew. He didn't just go along with it.
He helped.
He looked me in the eyes, kissed me goodbye, and pretended he was doing a chore at his dad's. He lied. He sat through dinner that night, acting like it was nothing. And then he got mad at me when I posted one single photo. That changed everything. I screenshotted the texts. Save them in 2 places. Just in case. Then I went home. He was sitting on the couch when I walked in. He stood up fast. Claire, thank God.
I was so worried.
Can we just talk? I didn't speak. I walked past him, opened my laptop, and pulled up the screenshots. I turned the screen so he could see. His face drained of color. Claire, I didn't mean… You didn't mean what? I snapped. Didn't mean to get caught? Didn't mean to go along with your mommy banning me from your birthday like I'm some ex-girlfriend instead of your wife? It wasn't like that. I didn't want to upset her. Oh my God, I said, laughing bitterly. Do you even hear yourself? You didn't want to upset her, so you lied to me and threw a party without your own wife? What the hell is wrong with you? He started pacing, rambling. Said things like she didn't want drama. You don't get along with her. I thought it would be easier. I am your wife, I said quietly. If you can't even stand up for me at your own birthday, then what do I even mean to you? He didn't answer. I walked upstairs, slammed the door, sat on the bed, and just stared at the wall. This wasn't just a party. This wasn't just about his mom. This was about Tyler, about how small I had become in his life. How easy it was for him to erase me for one night because it made things easier. And I realized something else. If he could do that once, he could do it again. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I didn't go to work the next day. I couldn't. I called out and stayed in bed, not really sleeping, just staring at the ceiling and thinking about how fast something you built for years can fall apart in a weekend. Tyler kept knocking on the door. I didn't answer. Around noon, I finally got up and went downstairs to grab some food, and that's when I saw his laptop sitting open on the kitchen counter. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was just instinct. Maybe it was that voice in my head that had started to whisper weeks ago. Before the party, before the lie, before the photos. I opened his browser. The last thing he'd looked at was a Google search. Can I remove a spouse from insurance without telling them? I stopped breathing. I checked the tabs. Bank logins. One labeled Separation Agreement Draft. A search for apartments in Hendersonville. My hands were shaking. I knew we'd been distant for a while, but I didn't know he was preparing to leave. And apparently, he'd been doing it before his birthday. I took screenshots. Every page. Every file. I emailed them to myself from his computer. When I turned around, he was standing in the hallway. We just stared at each other for a second. You went through my stuff? He said quietly. You're planning to leave me.
He didn't deny it.
Not right away. I was thinking about it, he said finally. Things haven't been right between us for a while. And you are going to just cut me off the health insurance and move to another city, like I never existed? I didn't know how to talk to you about it, Claire. You had a birthday party without me. You didn't even have to talk. You made it loud and clear. He sat down at the table, put his head in his hands. I stood there, holding his laptop, disgusted. How long? I asked. A couple months. And your mom? Did she know? He hesitated. She encouraged it. There it was. The truth. The whole birthday party was a goodbye party. They just didn't have the guts to say it out loud. They wanted me erased. Quietly. Like I never existed. Like I wasn't a part of his life for the last 7 years. I went upstairs. Started packing. He followed me up. Wait, Claire, come on. Let's just talk this through. I spun around, stared him down. I'm not going to beg you to love me, but I am going to make sure that when I leave, I take back every single piece of myself you tried to bury. He didn't understand what I meant then, but he would soon.
I didn't cry when I left.
Not even when I walked out with just a suitcase and my laptop, past the man who once promised me forever. Tyler stood in the doorway like he was in a fog. Maybe he thought I'd come back. Maybe he still thought this was just a fight. It wasn't. For the first time in years, I felt clear. I moved into Carly's guest room. I took some time off work. I sat with the pain, but I also started planning. I wasn't going to just leave quietly, like they all wanted. I had spent 7 years being the background character in my own life, Tyler's wife, the polite in-law, the one who made things easier. Not anymore. First, I talked to a lawyer. He was surprised how prepared I was. I showed him the screenshots. of the party texts, of the insurance search, of the separation agreement Tyler had drafted without me. He looked over everything and said, "Claire, this isn't just a divorce. This is intentional exclusion. You might have grounds to claim marital misconduct, especially if he tried to remove you from benefits before separation." It was slow, painful work, but I went through our accounts, took notes on every dollar. I found payments to a storage unit I didn't know he had, transcripts of Venmo payments to his sister, marked birthday planning, supplies, and one labeled "Don't say anything." He'd been paying people to keep me in the dark. Then I remembered our wedding photos. I pulled them up, all 300 of them. In almost every single shot with his mom, she had her hand on his arm but never looked at me. She looked past me, like I didn't belong, like I wasn't even there. That image haunted me more than anything. So I made a plan. I created a private online gallery using our wedding photos, alongside screenshots of the texts, the emails, the insurance searches, everything. I wrote a short, calm note at the beginning. This is what it looks like when someone gets erased from their own marriage. For anyone who wondered where I was that night, this is your answer. Then I sent it to everyone who had been at the birthday party. I didn't scream. I didn't threaten. I just showed them the truth. It spread like fire. Within hours, I started getting responses. His cousin Jess, "Claire, I had no idea it was that serious. I thought you were out of town or something." His aunt, "I'm so sorry. I wish I had asked more questions." Even one of his old college friends messaged me, "That's messed up. You deserved better." But the real moment came a week later. Tyler's mom emailed me again. This time, not fake polite. "Claire, that was extremely inappropriate. Airing private matters to extended family is petty and immature. I suggest you take the gallery down before more damage is done. Diane." I replied with one line. "If you didn't want anyone to see it, you shouldn't have done it." Then I blocked her. Tyler tried to call me that night. I didn't pick up. He sent a long text, begging for a second chance. Said I took it too far. That I ruined his reputation. I didn't reply. Because here's the truth. I did take it far. I wanted to. I needed to. For me. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. But I didn't stop there. I sent a notice through my lawyer that I'd be contesting the split of assets, citing emotional harm, intentional exclusion, and concealed financial moves. It bought me leverage. Tyler didn't want it going to court. He agreed to a larger settlement. I used that money to get my own apartment. Not huge, but all mine. I started fresh. I even got a dog. But I didn't forget. And I made damn sure they didn't either. Every year on April 20th, I post the same photo. The one from that quiet dinner I had by myself, the night of the party. Same caption every time. Sometimes the best family is the one you make without them. And you know what? Each year, more people like it. Some leave a heart. Some leave a simple, "thinking of you." Even Jess, who's no longer talking to most of the family, leaves a comment now. "Tyler? I heard through the grapevine he's still with his family, still going to dinners, still trying to keep everyone happy. But he looks tired." I made mistakes too. I let too many things slide. I stayed quiet when I should have spoken up. I thought love meant keeping the peace. But real love fights for you. And he didn't. So I fought for myself. And this time I didn't lose.